civilization, the revolutions, the French Revolution, citizenship has always had to have characteristics of the state. And as we all know, there is nothing we can refer to as an international state. What we want to call the international community does not qualify to be a state. It is actually a collection of different states with particular interests. And I'm bringing this because in my discussion, cross-examination of the relationship between Pan-Africanism and global citizenship, we shall at a certain point see that there is where we have been misled to think that it is only through the international community's involvement that some things can work. The international community doesn't exist. The international community doesn't exist. What we have is a body of states that are also fighting to achieve their state interests. Now the methods they use are the ones that confuse us, but are clear to them. Which methods? International cooperation, international relations, international trade, the trade. So when you look at the origin of citizenship, now the relationship with the global citizenship, rather Pan-Africanism, you realize that there are people who have escaped from Africa problems they do not want to identify with the African community. So they have always wanted to show that things can change when you leave. But one thing that is not changing is the idea of identity, and we can see that even when Africans have moved from Africa to other continents and other places, they have always wanted to identify with Africa. Why? Because we have all known since history that Africa is the source of everything. Africa is the source of life. This is a continent where there is sunshine, right? Doesn't happen anywhere. So this is the source of, if any of you is putting on a cloth made in Uganda, all of you, you will be surprised how many will, including me, how many will raise their arms. It is another form of control. That even when they found us putting on black cloth, by the time they came, we had our instruments of cultivation. We had our heads, we have had smiths who were using stones to shape them into toys, pangas and others. What these people did, came and used what I call the analogous politics to compare us with Europe of the 18th century. They are rich enough to propagate their cultures outside Europe. Now they came and wanted to compare us with them. And then after, they said, you see, you are not developed. You know why you're not developed? Because you don't have to know the words they use. Rudimentary means of development. Rudimentary. But now when I ask you, which society in this world has ever developed without such that Rosto wrote about the takeoff and pre-whatever takeoff, as if some countries are now already in the heaven. He said that that's how society grows, that there are stages of growth where some states are preparing to take off and others have already taken off, then others are not even anywhere. So, that kind of analogous politics created a sense within us that we are not able to reach them. Therefore, they projected an image that we should all copy from Europe in order to be what they will call modernized society. So, how many years now after? They ruled us for 68 years. We have been ruling ourselves for now 60 years. When you add that, it is close to 140 years. But what is the situation today? What do we export? What do we export? What do we eat? What do we put on? It's the most important thing I want to tackle. What I call the colonial social sciences. Things that we believe in. When they talk about modernization, modernization sounds like when you have lipstick, when you have Chinese hair on your head, when you have these clothes that glitter, then you are modern. That when you have expensive roads, you are modern. But the question is, what capacity do you have to sustain these roads for infrastructure? Because when they said we must modernize, don't ask them what capacity do we have. They said, please, you will modernize and we shall give you the money. But the money was in form of loans. Today, almost every African country wants to move out to the West, to plead with them, please forgive us, the loans are